Tell me if this sounds familiar. You open up your browser tabs and it looks like a cry for help. You've got one tab open for a freelance graphic design gig you're finishing up, another for an online course on Python coding that you're about 40% through, your LinkedIn profile that you have no idea how to describe, and a note-taking app filled with 5 different business ideas, ranging from a sustainable sneaker brand to a data-driven newsletter. You're not bad at any of them. In fact, you're pretty good. You're talented. But the world, your parents, your boss, those career gurus on TikTok, keeps telling you to pick a lane. They tell you to become a specialist, to be the best at one thing. And for you, that feels like a prison sentence, because the moment you focus on just the design, you start missing the strategy. When you dive deep into the data, you feel your creative muscles atrophying. So you feel guilty, you feel scattered, and honestly, you feel behind. You look at your friend who became the accounting guy or the cybersecurity girl, and you think, they have it figured out. I'm just distracted. Look, I'm here to tell you that feeling isn't a bug in your system. It's a feature. And the entire world of work, money, and careers is shifting to reward people who think exactly like you. But you're playing the wrong game with a 20th century rulebook that was designed to turn humans into cogs. Introduction. My name is Zach, and I spend way too much time thinking about how people build real, resilient wealth in a chaotic economy. If you're someone who feels pulled in a dozen directions, who gets bored being an expert in just one thing, and who's terrified that this makes you unemployable or doomed to lower earnings, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. The 20th century industrial lie. Here's the thing. We've been sold a lie, a massive industrial era lie called the T-shaped person. You've probably seen the diagram. The horizontal bar of the T represents broad knowledge. You know enough to hold a conversation at a cocktail party. But the vertical stem, that's your deep, towering specialty. Be the best tax attorney, the lead React developer, the top-tier CNC machinist. That model was built for stability. It was built for climbing a single corporate ladder in an era where that ladder was nailed to a very sturdy wall. It assumed the industry wouldn't change for 40 years. Look around. The walls are moving. The ladders are being replaced by jungle gyms. And here's what most people don't realize. AI is coming for the vertical stem. AI is the ultimate specialist. It can code, design, analyze data, and write legal briefs faster and often cheaper than a junior to mid-level specialist. If your entire value proposition is, I am deep in one narrow technical skill, you are now in a race to the bottom against a machine that costs $20 a month. So if you're trying to force yourself into a T-shape and your brain is screaming in protest, stop. You're trying to solve for the wrong future. The highest value, most AI-proof career strategy today is not being a specialist. It's not even being a generalist. It's becoming what I call M-shaped. The M-shaped architecture. An M-shaped person has not one, but 2 or 3 areas of deep, credible competence. These aren't just hobbies. These are skills you could legitimately get hired for. But between these peaks is the secret sauce. A portfolio of connective, integrating skills, storytelling, project management, systems thinking, sales, and a unique perspective. Think of it this way. A T-shaped person is a skyscraper, impressive, singular, but if the ground shifts, if the industry changes, it falls. An M-shaped person is a suspension bridge, multiple, strong pillars anchored firmly in different fields, connected by a flexible, robust deck that can handle tension, movement, and change. It's what Nassim Taleb calls anti-fragile. It actually gets stronger when things get chaotic. The math of value multiplication. Let's get into the math, because this is where it gets really interesting. Let's say you're a T-shaped marketing specialist. You're deep in Google ads. You charge $100 an hour. You can work 30 billable hours a week. That's $12,000 a month. That's a solid middle-class life. But then Google changes its algorithm overnight. or an AI tool automates 80% of campaign setup, your value plummets. You're suddenly competing with thousands of other Google Ads experts who are all slashing their prices just to survive. Now, let's build an M-shaped profile. Let's say you have 3 peaks. Content writing, market rate is $80 an hour. Basic UI UX design, market rate is $90 an hour. Email marketing strategy, market rate is $100 an hour. On paper, you're just a mid-level freelancer in each, but when you integrate them, something magical happens. A client doesn't come to you for some words, they come to you because their leads aren't converting. You understand the user journey, UI UX peak. You write the copy that guides them, writing peak. You design the automated email sequence that closes the sale, email peak. You are no longer performing a task. You are solving a business outcome. You don't sell hours anymore. You sell a lead generation system setup for a flat fee of $8,000. If that project takes you 20 hours of focused work, your effective hourly rate is now $400. Your value isn't the sum of your parts, 80 plus 90 plus 100 equals $270 an hour. Your value is multiplied because you see the connections others miss. You've moved from being a commodity to a unique value proposition. The psychology of the polymath. Now, we have to address the psychological elephant in the room. People with diverse interests often struggle with career FOMO. You feel like by choosing one path, you're killing off all the other versions of yourself. This leads to an identity crisis. What am I? Am I a writer? Am I a coder? The M-shape gives you a framework. You aren't lost, you are synthesizing. That boredom you feel after you've spent 6 months mastering the basics of a new skill, that isn't a character flaw. It's your internal signal that you've reached credible competence and it's time to start building your next peak. In a world of narrow specialists, the person who can speak the language of 3 different departments is the most powerful person in the room. You become the integrator. And the data backs this up. A study published in the Harvard Business Review analyzed innovation across decades. They found that breakthrough ideas, the kind that lead to patents and billion-dollar companies, most often happen at the intersections of fields. They found that teams with diverse cognitive backgrounds solved complex problems 30% faster than teams of specialists. Your multi-interest brain is literally wired for the 21st century economy. Objection. But Zach, I don't have time to be an expert in 3 things. Now, you might be thinking, Zach, this sounds exhausting. I barely have time to keep up with my current job, let alone become an expert in 3 different fields. I hear you, but here's what most people don't realize. You are imagining climbing 3 separate mountains from sea level. That's not how it works. Because of your natural curiosity, you are already partway up several hills. You probably already know more about design than the average accountant. You probably know more about data than the average writer. The goal isn't world-class mastery. You don't need to be the top 1% in the world at 3 things. You need to reach the credible competence. Credible competence means you are better than 80% of the general population. It means you can produce professional-grade work that a specialist would respect. Reaching the 80% mark in a skill takes about 20% of the time required to reach 100%. It's the 80-20 rule of skill acquisition. You are harvesting the high-value early gains of multiple skills and then weaving them together. Actionable steps. Build your M-shape. So how do you start building your M-shaped future this week? Follow these 4 steps. 1. The skills audit. Take a weekend. List every skill, hobby, and interest you've spent real time on. Coding, photography, community organizing, podcasting, carpentry, budgeting. Don't judge them, just list them. Then circle the 2 or 3 where you already have a foundation. These are your potential peaks. 2. Define competence for each peak. For each peak, what does good enough look like? For video editing, maybe it's being able to produce a clean, well-paced 10-minute YouTube video with sound mixing and color correction, not a Hollywood feature film. Find the specific, achievable benchmark that has market value. 3. The 90-day drill down. You don't need 10,000 hours. You need 100 hours of deliberate, project-based practice. For the next 90 days, commit 5 to 7 hours per week to deepening one of your chosen peaks. Take a rigorous course, but more importantly, build something. A real project for a fake client. Use the hell yeah or no rule. If an opportunity to practice this skill doesn't make you say hell yeah, say no to protect your focus. 4. Identify your connective tissue. This is the most critical step. What skills link your peaks? Is it storytelling? You can write the story and design the visuals. Is it systems thinking? You can code the tool and manage the team using it. Is it human psychology? Useful for sales, UX design, and leadership. Double down on these. These are your superpowers. These are the decks of your bridge. The portfolio of proof. Once you have your peaks, you need to show the world. Don't just tell people you're M-shaped. Show the integration. Create one flagship project that demonstrates all your peaks working together. If your peaks are sustainability, data, and public speaking, don't just put them on your resume. Create a data-backed report on local carbon emissions, design the infographics yourself, and record a video presentation explaining the solutions. One integrated project like that is worth more than 50 single skill certificates. It proves you can solve a complex problem from start to finish. The resistance. Look, you're going to face resistance. Traditional HR departments and their automated keyword scanning algorithms are built for T-shapes. They want to see 5 years of experience in Java. They won't know what to do with you. So you have to bypass them. Stop looking for jobs and start spotting problems. Network with humans, not portals. Pitch projects, not resumes. Your LinkedIn headline shouldn't be a job title. It should be a value statement. Instead of saying marketing manager, say, I help tech startups translate complex engineering features into compelling brand stories through design, video, and launch strategy. That headline screams M-shaped. It tells a founder that you can handle the work of 3 different people and integrate them into one cohesive win. The conclusion. The future doesn't belong to the one-trick pony. It doesn't belong to the shallow generalist who knows a little bit of everything but can't actually ship anything. The future belongs to the integrator, the synthesizer. It belongs to the person who can speak the language of the engineers, the language of the marketers, and the language of the customers, and translate between them to actually build something that matters. Your too many interests are not a curse. They are your strategic advantage in an automated world. They are your portfolio of options. They are your hedge against obsolescence. While the specialist is praying their one skill stays relevant, you have multiple pillars holding up your income, your identity, and your impact. Stop trying to cut away pieces of yourself to fit a broken mold. Start integrating. Start building your bridge. Build your M. If this resonated with you, if you're finally ready to see your diverse brain as the asset it is, then do 3 things. Hit that like button. It helps other multi-passionate people find this video. In the comments below, write your potential M-shape, just 2 or 3 peaks. For example, data visualization, personal finance, and teaching. I want to see the incredible combinations in this community. Subscribe, because next week we're diving into the exact financial models for an M-shaped income, how to structure your fees, your time, and your investments when you have multiple value streams. Stop choosing. Start connecting. I'll see you in the next one.